Good morning, family and friends. Today is September the 9th, 2016. I'm just coming on here very quickly to give you a couple of updates from the last couple of nights that I have received visions and dreams. So the first one I'm going to go over with was 2 nights ago. And basically what I had prayed for is I had prayed to the Lord for clarity on the pre-tribulation rapture, because there's so many people out there that are saying that not only that they're watchmen, but they're professing other, I don't know if it's interpretations or if they're actually receiving this directly from the Lord and voicing it out there. I know what the Lord has shown me, and so I can only go by that. So I want to refrain from trying to do the, they're wrong, I'm right, that kind of thing. I can only declare and be responsible for what the Lord shows me, okay? So I'm setting it up for you to understand what I had prayed for and what he has revealed to me. So I, again, had prayed for clarity on the pre-tribulation because he has actually shown me that we are lifted up here very soon. And that's how come he had asked me to, he had instructed me, I should say, he had instructed me to be more, for my voice to be a sound of more urgency. So I know in a couple of my latest videos, some people who do not know me maybe misunderstood my approach, but my approach is solely dependent upon what the Lord puts on me, puts upon my spirit, or instructs me directly on the urgency in it. So there'll be times where I'll do videos and I'm very relaxed and I'm very, quiet. And there'll be times where he will tell me directly that the urgency is not being fully voiced. As vessels for him, we must sound the alarm accordingly to what he instructs. So just to explain that. Now, 2 days ago when I prayed about the pre-tribulation, clarity on that, excuse me, what he showed me was, and I'm going to look at my notes because I have a couple of visions and dreams I have to go over with you on. And please, if you have any kind of information or discernment that you are, feel comfortable with, and you will share in the comments, it's always greatly appreciated. So let me go over this. What it was after me praying about the pre-tribulation, and that I required clarity on it because of all of the stuff that's being put out there. The Lord quickly showed me actually an asteroid approaching Earth. And afterwards, he the scene changed, and it went directly to Obama in the Oval Office. He was standing in the Oval Office. He had his head down, slightly downwards, and he seemed very conflicted, and like he was trying to choose his words as to how he was going to address the nation. And again, I knew this to be the Oval Office. Typically when he is in the Oval Office, it is to announce or address the people. So what I got from the look on his face was that of just like toiling with the words of how to phrase, obviously having to do with the asteroid approaching Earth. Let me see here. In this one, I had one personal vision. Right after the Obama scene, I had a vision of my youngest son. I'm not going to get into that. Let me see here. Okay, now I ended up falling asleep, and in my dream state, I ended up having, it was weird because it was like just back-to-back information that the Lord was downloading. And he gave me a dream of dolphins dying. And I had to do research of the symbolic reference of that. And I'll go over that in just a minute. I'll go over my findings. Again, when I personally have visions and dreams, typically it comes with research. So in this scene, it shifted very quickly because it went from seeing that a mass die-off of dolphins to, what was it? he gave me the number 555. And again, I did some research on that, so I'm going to go ahead and go into that real quick because I want to make this as short as possible. I'm going to show you what I found here. So in researching the number 555, the Roman symbol for 5 is the V in the alphabet. What I noticed is that when I was researching it, the Lord usually will guide me to particular links. It almost seems like just precisely. He will align certain people's information that they've done, and he will have me select one that he approves, in other words. So in this one, they put a video specifically on the number 555, and they indicated that in doing so with the 3 numbers, that the number 5 in the alphabet symbolizes the letter E. And they actually, when they put it up on the screen, they had referenced it as the letter E, and then the Roman numeral V, and then E, so like as in Eve. I'm just going to go through some bullet points here, what I found. And then the next one was good and evil appears in the KVJ 555 times. There are exactly 555 words in the KJB that begin with the 3 letters LOV. The 4 consecutive letters of LIVE are found in words that appear exactly 555 times. Of the 1,189 chapters of the KJB. Let's see here. What I found interesting about that is the Lord, it's so amazing how he works, because he brought up in this video clip that he actually had me select this lady's findings, and it was in the KJB, the word live is referenced so many times. I think it was 555 chapters, and it was, of course, live, and then live can also be spell out evil. It spells out Levi, and then it spells out veil. And what was interesting about that is I'd actually seen a co-watchman whose first name is actually Levi, and he was saying how he felt, whether this was guided or how he received this information, he felt that there was no pre-tribulation, but that totally counteracts everything then that the Lord has shown me. So I cannot say that I agree with that statement. I know that that's a very touchy subject, but as a watchman, I take it very serious. So I certainly don't want to be held accountable, especially in the Lord's eyes, and tell everybody that there is no such thing as the pre-tribulation. That's very dangerous. So again, I always seek the Lord for discernment to make sure that I'm giving you, the viewers, the correct information. So my understanding again is that yes, indeed, there is a pre-tribulation, and that is the first harvest. If you look at my other videos, you'll understand that. I can't cover it all here again. But absolutely, there is a pre-tribulation, and Scripture backs it up. So again, that was very weird because, excuse me, I had actually just seen Levi's video stating that there was no pre-trib, and yet in this study of the number 555 that the Lord gave me, he managed to spell the word live and then point out that it spelled out Levi. Again, no coincidence in the Lord's work here. He works so profoundly, but yet very precisely. Okay, so let me go on. I want to make this short. Okay, there's a whole bunch of things that I found about the 555 number, so I'm not going to go into all of that. I know that the number 5 is described symbolically in the Bible as divine grace, salvation, and living. Now, what I found about the dolphin, though, was interesting. Let me see if I can go over here. Okay, I've got like days of notes here. Okay, I can't find it in my notes, but I remember by heart the dolphins, the symbolism in the dolphins dying, the mass die-off that I seen in that dream. Apparently, it symbolizes the death of the age. So you can make your own assertions there. Okay, so now this goes to last night. I actually, I didn't feel it upon my spirit to share about the vision that the Lord showed me about the asteroid that's approaching Earth, and that Obama was in the Oval Office. I didn't feel led by him to share that, so I sat on it. And then so last night I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, do you want me to share that? Do you want to give me any more information so that I can share that? And that's what I started my prayer with last night, so you understand where last night's prayer led to. And let me see here. The Lord then gave me the word hiding. What I received in my spirit at that point in time is that quite possibly this asteroid is hiding behind the sun. And that's how come he gave me the word hiding. This is when I was in prayer. Okay, so this is not in my dream state. Let me see here. Okay, now in this vision, it changed scenes basically. After he gave me the word hiding, it changed to a TV screen, almost like a YouTube screen. It was like a news clip. And let me see here. It showed me the White House, and there was like light smoke around the White House. And he's actually just revealed that to me as I'm declaring this now to emphasize that there was like a smoke screen around the White House when he showed me this this screen. Then I heard immediately. I didn't see this written. I didn't hear this audibly. It was in my spirit. I heard clearly the words, the world economic. I ended up falling asleep, and the Lord granted me a dream. And in this dream, I can sort of remind myself about this right now. I don't really have to look at the notes. I will if I have to, but I was just telling my husband about this. What it was he granted me a dream. Then I ended up falling asleep, and my husband and I, we had gone to this lady's house, and I didn't know her. She was a tall black lady, never seen her, and she had a little boy, and he was playing in the living room area and in the dream. And she seemed very serious. I don't know what she was trying to tell me before we received a knock on the door. And what I received when we received this knock on the door, I received knowing. This lady came through. She was wearing a jacket. It almost looked like an FBI jacket. But at that point in time, the Lord gave me knowing that it was a lady from CDC. Now, I didn't know what that acronym stood for, so I asked my husband when I was declaring it this morning. And so I found that to be interesting because she didn't have it on her badge. She didn't say, hey, I'm from CDC. It wasn't like that. I just knew. The Lord gave me that information of knowing. So she sat down, and she was very serious, and she was talking to the black lady that we were visiting, and she was talking to myself. I was in the living room with her at that point. And I could hear her and the lady that we were visiting and this lady, they were talking amongst each other. And then I just heard the lady from CDC said, you can't leave. Apparently the lady that we were visiting told her that we had plans to leave her home. And she says, you can't leave here. So I went into the other room and I told my husband, and I said, this lady's saying that we can't leave. And so he had hidden my purse. He had hidden my purse, and I know why, but I'm not going to share that here. But he had hidden my purse way up high. It was like a really tall room. And he had to literally reach for my purse with one of those long handles. So anyhow, he retrieved my purse, and at that point, I was in the other room with him, letting him know that this lady was saying that we couldn't leave. And at that point in time, I texted my youngest son, and I said, I knew at that point, as the Lord works through us, that martial law had been declared. And so I texted my son, and I said, you got to come straight home. I think in the dream he was in school. He's going to college, and I told him, I said, you need to get home immediately, come straight home. And I ended up texting my dad in a different state and saying martial law had begun and he needed to either head here with us or he needed to, go to, the plan that we had talked about previously privately. Let's see here. Oh, and then the scene changed. It went from us being in that living room to, it was weird because it like zoomed in and I was in a parking lot, and across from me was, from that parking lot was a Walmart, and there was a heavy man, older man, and he was balding and he had glasses, and I could see him from afar, and he was instructing and directing a large group of people in the front of the lobby of Walmart, inside the lobby, not outside, but inside, and he was instructing them on what to do. There seemed to be a lot of panic. But it definitely was a Walmart. And it's not because I seen the Walmart sign. It's because the Lord put that upon my spirit in knowing that it was a Walmart that he was in, and those people were receiving instruction at that Walmart. I thought that was very important as well, because as you watchmen know, you know how the Lord works through us. He gives us knowing a lot of the times in our visions and dreams. Okay, so I ended up waking up from the dream. That's the end of the dream, basically. But I just want to let you guys know that the last couple of days, the Lord has been very active in my dreams and visions. He knows that I do need, for the most part, my communication with him must be received by visions, because I don't tend to remember my dreams. It's very hard for me, and he knows this. But if you will please add any knowledge or any research that you've done or any communication that you have received from the Lord, I do know that he definitely, in revealing to me, and the whole reasoning behind me going to him the first day was to get clarity on the pre-tribulation. And I can tell you without a doubt, there absolutely is a pre-tribulation. He has made it very clear to me. And he wants to caution people who are not understanding the gospel correctly. There absolutely is a pre-tribulation, and if that means that you maybe need to look over Revelations again, he's indicating to me that he does reveal it to us a couple of times in Revelations. And you have to understand, from my point of view, I wasn't a pre-tribulation believer, but it was based on knowledge at the time. I could not make that true, defining not assumption, but I could not bring that forth at the time because I didn't have the information. So I ended up looking further. I ended up researching further. I ended up going further with the Lord in spirit and asking him to guide me on that, whether yes, because I wanted to make sure that I was guiding you, the viewers, correctly. But he absolutely has confirmed that yes, indeed, there is a first harvest, and that's how come he has left all of this instruction with me personally. Again, I can't speak for others, so I love you guys, and just know that yes, we are on the brink of the rapture. He is coming very soon, and quite honestly, again, I've already said this, he is already here amongst us. I love you guys.